Clark County Today is presented by Cano Real Estate. Hire an agent, get a team. Learn more by visiting canorealestate.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Thursday edition of your video update from ClarkCountyToday.com. I'm Chris Brown. We're going to start as usual with an update on the COVID-19 situation. 15 more people were diagnosed with confirmed cases since yesterday. 13 of those are connected to the Firestone Pacific Foods packing facility outbreak. Now, all of those are close contacts with one of the 74 employees who have tested positive. A total of 307 people have been tested in connection with the plant, with 119 cases linked to the outbreak. In the entire county, 548 people have tested positive for COVID-19, with 25 deaths. 7 people are currently hospitalized with confirmed cases in the county. Well, today the state announced 2 more counties have been approved to move ahead to phase 2 of reopening, but Clark County's application remains on pause. Clark County Public Health says there has been no conversation yet with the State Secretary of Health about what will be needed to reopen. The uncertainty has been especially tough on restaurants who can resume dine-in service at half capacity under phase 2, but need to buy ingredients and rehire staff in order to do that. Some restaurants have geared up to reopen before the Firestone outbreak, and they say that right now they're worried that food might go to waste. Others say they might not reopen until phase 3 over concerns that half capacity won't be enough to turn a profit. The health department says they're working to give restaurants as much of a heads up as possible about what they can be doing to prepare for reopening. One place that is back open is A. The resort and casino near La Center held a grand reopening this morning, and we sent Paul Valencia to cover it. We made him file this story as proof he was actually working.
Hello, Paul Valencia here. I'm going to take this off just for a split second, but guests will need to wear masks at A. And yes, A is reopening today. So, remove the mask, and then we're good. It's as simple as that.
And good morning to everyone, and special thanks. Again, Bill Lyle, Chairman of the Cowles Tribe. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all back. And recognizing our place in the broader community, we banded together with the state of Washington to face another challenge, the global pandemic. We suspended operations to protect one another and to work close together to stem the spread of COVID-19. We honored Governor Inslee's request to extend closure and have flattened the curve in our community.
We have a lot of measures to allow guests to enjoy A without compromising their well-being, and we are closely following the guidelines from the CDC and state health authorities and instituting new and more stringent health and safety protocols on site. And you'll also notice that the tribe went above and beyond that. Like Washington, we're adopting a phased approach to opening.
Really excited to have everyone back for our reopening after 70 days of closure. We did turn 3 years old today, and we're excited to have the community back and really appreciate everyone visiting A and the reservation. And as you can see behind me, we have thermal scanning underway. This is something that you'll experience as you walk in the doors of A, really as a measure to ensure that everybody is feeling well when they're coming into the building, which is one protective measure that we can take to help prevent the spread of this virus that we all continue to face.
All right, thanks so much for that, Paul. It may seem ironic, but on the night before A was set to reopen, members of the La Center City Council and other officials of the city were poring over a financial update for the first quarter. Just 3 years ago, the city of La Center was still receiving more than $3 million annually from gambling taxes on its then 4 card rooms. Now, as the nearby casino has become well established with residents from the area and beyond, La Center is down to 2 card rooms. And gambling taxes the city once relied on so heavily have been reduced to a projected $1.3 million in 2020. Add to that the recent closure of the card rooms due to the stay-at-home orders, and one would think the city of La Center would be in the throes of financial ruin. Thankfully, that's not the case, as our story today illustrates. The center is booming with both residential and commercial growth that, at least for the short term, has allowed the city to address its overall structural deficit issues. For an update on the city's current finances during the stay-at-home orders, as well as the development and growth taking place in La Center, read our full story at ClarkCountyToday.com. Staying in North County, crews with Clark County Fire and Rescue met with some challenges at an apartment fire early this morning in Woodland. They found flames spreading from a patio into the attic of the apartment on Bozar Street just after 9 a.m. A propane bottle on the patio ignited, sparking a fireball that also accelerated the flames. And it gets worse. Initial attempts to enter the apartment were delayed by ammunition that was exploding inside. According to a person with knowledge of the apartment, there were over 1,000 rounds of small arms ammunition in the home. The primary apartment was gutted by the fire, and 2 other units suffered smoke and water damage. The residents of the unit where the fire started were not home at the time, and 3 people have been displaced. The Clark County Fire Marshal is leading that investigation. Farmland is being lost at an alarming rate. That's the result of a 15-year study done by the American Farmland Trust, a nationwide advocacy group for maintaining the integrity of farmland. Now, while Clark County remains classified as a rural area with farms dating back generations, the group says that state legislatures need to take steps to protect farmland, or it could become difficult to find or maintain in the future. AFT also notes that most farmers in Washington state are 55 or older, so there's concern over finding new generations to take over farming across the entire country. You can find out some of the steps the state is taking to implement recommendations from the study in our story today at ClarkCountyToday.com. All right, it's time for your sports update, and for the first time in decades, Herm Van Werthuysen will not be coaching at La Center High School. Back to Paul Valencia with that story.
Big news out of La Center. Herm Van Werthuysen is retiring from coaching. Oh, and by the way, just call him Herm. It's a lot easier. That's what he always tells us. Anyway, 30 years as a head coach in La Center Athletics in 5 different sports. He just recently had a health crisis. It wasn't pandemic related, coronavirus related, but with his health and his recovery and the uncertain times that we are living in, he just didn't think it would be fair to be coaching next winter. So he has retired as the girls basketball coach, and it's the end of an era in La Center.
All right, thank you for that, Paul. And there's your check of the stories you'll find on this Thursday at ClarkCountyToday.com. If you want to be the first to know when stories are posted and be part of the conversation about what's happening in your community, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also send us an email with your story ideas and feedback. news@ClarkCountyToday.com is the address. For all of us, I'm Chris Brown. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.